Stop.
You know, I'm like,
Stop.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting for December 12th, 2023. Can we get a roll call and declaration?
Silva. Here. Bradley. Here. Stacy.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Noble. Here. Linneman.
Here.
Denny. Here. Swartz. Here.
Okay, if everybody would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation by Pastor Stacy Wilson, GCSD9 Assembly of God.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time to come and to celebrate the things that are happening in our community and to make the best decisions that can be made for the students and families of our community. God, we ask that you would provide wisdom and that you would provide the leadership and the guidance that is needed, and bless each of the board members as they serve the school district. In your name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Wilson.
At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Donald Harris as the Superintendent of Schools for the 24-25 school year.
Shake your hand. Appreciate it.
And just real quick, we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we interviewed some great candidates, and this is the man that came out on top. So we are thrilled to have him working alongside Stephanie Ken this the remainder of this year, and then taking over on July 1. So again, thank you very much.
Yes, I'm truly humbled to be named the Superintendent of Schools for the Grant City School District. I'd just like to thank staff, students, community members, and family for all the texts, emails, phone calls with the words of encouragement I received over these last few weeks. It's truly appreciated. Please know that I look forward to partnering with staff as we work with community members to create a strong, thriving learning environment for the students within our school district. Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to get started.
I think we should get a family picture.
Yeah. Yeah, let's bring the family.
I mean, we basically hired you too, so you're in it with them. So it's not
Do you want the whole thing?
the whole family, get on here. Come on out.
Yeah.
Miss Corzine, yeah. One word. There we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations again.
Okay, well, it's one of those exciting nights where you have a lot of good, after that, we still have more good stuff. Tonight, the Board of Education Administration would like to recognize some of the following teachers who won the first Mid-America Credit Union grant for $250 to use in the classroom. But I'd like to call up CEO Alan Meyer. He's like incredibly generous to our district. I'm gonna have him give a little explanation of this, and maybe you can call up your other staff.
Okay, so with us tonight, we have Amber Scott, who's our Chief Marketing Officer. Martha Morris, who's our Business Development Representative, and Andy Math is our Community Relations Representative and stuff. And they're the ones that really head this whole process up and stuff. They're the ones that take care of it all and go through the process and look at the applications and things like that. So I don't know if you guys want to talk, because you're the ones that have looked at the application stuff, so you're probably a little...
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
you need that.
I can.
And again, we're always very impressed with the variety of applications that we get, the outstanding projects that the teachers are doing in the district, so we're just happy that we can assist, in pouring those at all. This year, we're gonna recognize Denise Stout for, she's doing a horseshoe table for small group instructions, and that's from Maryville. Hannah Bohm is doodle boards and Play-Doh for phonics lessons. Karen Phillips, who I understand can't be here tonight, but she's getting a grant for a microphone ball for the music classes.
I asked about that one. I think I want
Yes.
to come to class for
Yeah.
that one.
Yes.
See that one in
And then you
use.
can tell a little bit about the last one that's
Okay,
nice.
and then we had another grant application that really didn't fit the regular criteria for this, but we felt it was certainly very worthy of being supported. We wanted to support it, and think it's it's gonna be a great project for your district and the students to come in the future, and a great way to honor. Sarah Shaw is submitted an application for a rock memory garden for Jamie Kendall, a former teacher, which I'm sure you're all familiar with Jamie and her story.
So we'll call them all up now. So Hannah, Karen's here, Hannah, Sarah, and Denise, come on up. I'm just so proud that we always have somebody people that submit and the things that they do. And Julie had one, I think, last year. I think she did a scarf, one that they used with the muses as well. I think she did. So, I mean, I think this is the one you're gonna wanna go to her class.
Oh, this is one that's got the music, the...
No.
Oh, no, I thought the other one, you wanted to doodle.
Oh, I have the.
Well,
doors.
come
Yeah,
along.
I would
Yeah,
like,
come along.
you know.
Don't come right now.
So we're gonna get
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Here's Denise.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thanks. Excellent.
And Sarah, thank you for thinking of Jamie in this way to honor. I think that's really nice, and thank you for including her. So that's very nice too. So I'm gonna go ahead and stand up there. And
Did
we'll
you guys
get
get in here and stuff?
Here we go. Big check.
So each of these grants will receive a $250 grant, so we've got the real check for all of them.
Just really generous. I just wanna. They are very
No.
very
You're good.
supportive
Miss Can.
of our district every year for multiple things, Teacher Appreciation Week, the grants, they're also helping. We had a holiday trivia we just did, and they provided some gift cards for the winners, so we are always super appreciative of your philanthropy and thinking of our district.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
Can we have everyone take a couple steps that way, just so we're centered?
This way.
Thank
I
you.
never know what
That's
to
good.
say. He was going like this, I wasn't sure.
All right, here we go. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Once again, thank you so much for your support.
Congratulations. You're welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you, congratulations.
Okay, this is is pretty exciting too. We thought we had all this excitement, and yet there is more, right? There's more excitement, and they're gonna just add all kinds of excitement. So tonight, we would like to recognize the Board of Education and Administration, the Coolidge Junior High School 8th grade girls basketball team. Coach Metter, come on up here. They have their, look at all their little plaques and everything. This has been quite a run, right? Right, quite a run. Let me make sure I get all this right. They won the 2023. Okay.
They're getting good though.
You guys are getting good at this photo stuff.
Okay, stay where you are.
Everybody good? Okay. So the 2023 Illinois Elementary School Association IESA 8th grade Class 4A girls basketball regional and sectional championship, not one, but two, which advanced them to the state tournament on Saturday. They finished their season, this is crazy, with an overall record of 20 wins and 3 losses. You know, that's like... I'm going to have Coach Metter come up, and you want to say a few words? And maybe,
I have been honored to coach these girls now for 2 years. Last year we were undefeated. We went 20-0. So I knew that this was a special group right away, and whenever the opportunity came to move up with them and coach them again, I knew right away that was what I wanted to do. They're phenomenal basketball players, but even better people. I'm sad. It's over. But I'm proud of you all. Done.
Well, I'm going to hand out things. We have head coach Mallory Metter gets her own thing too. Brady, thank you very much. Keith Boyd was unable to be here tonight, but he's been an amazing part of this journey too. Let me start. You'll just tell me who's here and who's not here. Anna Taylor. Camille Martin. David James. Aubrey Briggs. Jalen Woods. Malone Grady. Amelia Hoppy. Chloe Marco. Paris Jackson.
She's good at your
Okay, here you go. Still give her a hand. Well, we are really proud. I'm sorry I couldn't get there. Sharon was in Chicago. I watched the game and all, which was amazing. So just seeing their teamwork and the coaching, we're just really proud. We're looking forward to next year, right? Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're taking a team photo. Another one.
Go get a team.
No. Are we all on friends?
No. She's a Metter.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Congrats, girls.
Were you supposed to give her a hug?
You got another shot. Go ahead, real quick. Go ahead.
Go, Riggs, go, Riggs. Where's she doing? Oh,
Are you sure you don't want to stay? Accelerate the conversation that's about to take place.
I'm gonna go this way, thank you.
Okay, so she's right.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
I mean, all of you crowded in the last row, we have some seats up front.
Yeah, really?
I thought you're all like, we don't ever get there. Mrs. Wilson, I wore that shirt yesterday.
Welcome, team.
Mine's a checkbox. It's awesome.
Moving on with the minutes. We have a motion to approve the minutes from November 14th meeting.
Second.
And we do roll call, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, consent agenda, which contains those items that are repetitive and routine in nature, and member may make a motion to approve the consent agenda or request that any of the items be moved to section 7 for individual discussion and consideration. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and roll call on this one.
Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Denny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye.
Okay, now, part of the consent agenda was.
There's the gifts, and it's
Yeah.
an important part, I think, of the meeting to once again recognize how many people in this community give back to the school district. It's just amazing. Amazon donation, Christopher Paulini works for Amazon Warehouse and is the grandfather of a Fraser student. And they have an abundance of books, donated over 105 bags and 3 large boxes of books from their partnership with Ready Readers to Prather. That was amazing. We talked about it last time, but those are all the details. Costo Logistics, Paul Swanson again has graciously donated backpacks to our students in need to GCSD9. I think what's really interesting, he called me and said, well, I know it's beginning, it'll be the new semester, and maybe there'll be kids moving in. He was really concerned that he could be done. So I thought that that was really nice that he remembered and offered those to us. So thank you, Paul, for that. The Holiday Inn Express with the social worker, Holiday Inn Express. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about vacation, I don't know.
That's when I read it,
I know. So Holiday Express, let's get that correct. Sorry, Mr. Mathis. With the school social workers, the following businesses made great donations to help us out: the Granite City Fire Union, Granite City High School Alumni Association, Sue's Corner, staff at Brixton Intermediate, and Cook Bartholomew, Sheldon, Cook, and Jones LLP. So once again, do you want to, Mr. Mathis, do you want to give a little rundown of the Holiday Express?
Holiday Express is an event that's put on by my social workers in which we raise money at the school that stays at Grigsby. We do a change wars, and then we get generous donations from our community, and we enable those parents at Grigsby who are less fortunate than others to come and shop for Christmas. So it's a great event. It's nice to see all these people coming together. We had the high school students, we had police officers, we had firefighters. It's just nice to see everybody come together to support the kids who get the most this time of year.
They can even wrap.
So
the
thank you
presents
on
too,
behalf of
right?
Grigsby.
Can't they wrap the presents there too?
Yes.
It includes everything, so they can go home and they have them wrapped. I just think that's a great, I just wanted you to put a little thing on that. So thank you. I know it's your, let us know, she wants to go.
All right, well, thank you very much. 8A, rescind retirements and resignations.
Okay, it is recommend the following retirements and resignations be rescinded. Michelle Mueller, second grade teacher, Maryville, end of 24-25 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Denny. Aye. Silva. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, and 8B, retirements and resignations.
It is recommended the following retirements and resignations be accepted. Taylor Buchanan, paraprofessional Wilson, effective 12/4/23. Michelle Mueller, second grade teacher, Maryville, 11/28/25.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? And roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye. Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye. 8C, requests for leaves of absence.
It is recommended the following requests for leaves of absences be approved. Dana Kelting, deaf interpreter Mitchell, effective 12/7/23, 6 to 6/1/24. David Kopsky, custodian Mitchell, effective 11/6/23 to 6/3/24. Sarah Riles, social worker Prather, effective 12/5/23 to 2/27/24. Tanya Stewart, paraprofessional Grigsby, 1/4/24 to 3/28/24. Tara Smith, second grade teacher Wilson, effective 2/21/24 to 5/3/24. Elizabeth Vitale, OTA Prather, effective 4/2/24 to 6/25/24. And Dave Wright, custodian GCHS, effective 11/27/23 to 2/19/24.
So moved.
And, roll call,
Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye. Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Okay. 8D, requests for extensions to leaves of absence.
It is recommended that the following requests for extension to leaves of absence be approved. Renee Wiener, paraprofessional Prather, effective 11/15/23 to 5/16/24.
So, second.
And roll call.
Vinnie, aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Okay, 8E, extracurricular resignations for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you've received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations for the whole for discussion in executive session. The GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular resignations for the 23-24 school year be accepted. Kendall Lyons, GCHS assistant boys track coach, and Jake Gregerson, Coolidge assistant wrestling coach.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye.
Okay, 8F, extracurricular recommendations for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you've received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. The GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular assignments for the 23-24 school year be approved. Other than the lunch duty, there are 3 other ones I'm going to read. Nancy Smalley, elementary gifted coordinator, Roderick Bevenu, GCHS assistant boys basketball coach, and Aquarius Millet, Coolidge assistant wrestling coach.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye. Silva.
Aye.
Okay, 8G, extracurricular recommendations for the 24-25 school year.
Below, you have received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or to hold for discussion in executive session. The GCSD9 administration is recommending the following extracurricular assignments for the 24-25 school year be approved. Mark Jones, GCHS robotics co-sponsor, Julie Schreiber, GCHS science department chair, Julie Schreiber, GCSH secondary honors sponsor. Approval is recommended pending the submission of required paperwork.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye.
All right. 8H, extracurricular recommendations for GCHS student workers co-ops for the 23-24 school year.
I think this is a wonderful program that we have our students. I've talked to one of them today. You received information about this item below. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration is recommending that the following student worker in this position, 23-24 school year be approved. DeMarco Day, approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie, aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
All right. 8I, certified and classified substitutes.
You received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. It is recommended that the following applicants be board approved as substitutes for the 23-24 school year. Certified, Taylor Buchanan, Rebecca Sedabras, and Basil Turkesine. Classified, Ann Hildreth, Starla Lindsay, and a Yelly Puma Sandoval. Approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
8J, policies.
The policy committee is recommending the approval of the following policies that were discussed and reviewed in the last policy meeting. I think that was November 14th. Sure, that's on me.
Yeah, that sounds right. So yeah, there's, and this is mostly, yeah, approval for training.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble. Aye.
Okay. And then, 8K1, the employment of one Title I paraprofessional for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you've received detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. This position will work within the parameters of the Title I grant. There will be a part-time position and paid through the Title I grant as well, not to exceed 15 hours per week. So GCSD9 administration is recommending the employment of Brittany Lindsay as a Title I aide for the 23-24 school year. The rates are $15 per hour for those non-degreed and $16.50 for degree. Title I aides only work when students are in attendance. Approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? And roll call.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Okay, 8K2, the employment of one safety, social, emotional, and behavioral monitor, 2, for the 23-24 school year.
Below, you've received detailed information about this item. Administration is prepared to make recommendations or hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration, the interview committee consisting of David Keel, Jim Christian, Christy Mode, Connie Patterson are recommending the employment of Mr. Rodney Bond as a safety, social, emotional, and behavior monitor 2 for the 23-24 school year. Approval is recommended pending the submission of the required paperwork.
Okay, discussion? And roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye.
Okay, 8K3, the employment of 3 paraprofessionals for the 23-24 school year.
You'll receive detailed information about this item. The administration is prepared to make recommendations or for hold for discussion in executive session. GCSD9 administration, the interview committee consisting of Nikki Watkins, Director of Special Ed, Kristen Navasquez-Caverna, Director of K-12 Professional Development Curriculum, and Joe Relicki, Supervisor of Special Education Region 1, are recommending the employment of the following candidates as paraprofessionals for the 23-24 school year. Stephanie Deek, Raven Ziegler, and Jamie Henry. Approval is recommended pending the submission of all the required paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion?
Just a question, with hiring these 3, do we have any other vacancies for paras?
Oh, we always.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We're hiring these 3, how many vacancies remain?
Well, we just had one open up tonight. So, that would leave us with, at least that one vacancy. The long-term subs that we have are typically for the 18-month positions before we try to make them full-time.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Kern.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Okay, we have nothing in old business, so on to new business. 10A, the GCSD9 firewall replacement.
Authorization is requested to replace the firewall and add a second firewall for redundancy. We are placing the device, the same type of equipment from Palo Alto, but with a newer model. This will allow us to keep the same configuration and transfer all the firewall policies and settings over to the new firewall. This equipment is important for the security of the school district network and the data that flows across the network, as well as our connection to the internet. The redundant firewall will allow for important security updates to be run while keeping the network running. With most programs being web-based, this is very important for uptime. The second firewall will also serve as a backup to the primary device if there is a problem with failure. The firewall is essential to everyday school district operations and functions. The equipment was included in the budget for the current fiscal year. Cost of the project is $101,830, which includes 3 years of subscriptions and support through Palo Alto and will be purchased from Speedlink. Is there anything you want to add, Mr. Smith?
I think the agenda item basically covers it, but this is our first line of defense for cyber crime, which in the last several years, K through 12 has been targeted by hackers because of more vulnerabilities that exist within the K through 12 environment. So, in order to keep current on our cyber insurance and keep up with the different, threats and stuff, I'd recommend replacing this.
Thank you. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Any more discussion?
So redundancy is a good thing in a
I
firewall.
know.
Redundancy is a good thing. That means that
I have this.
we can update the firewall while we take another one down
Yeah,
and
you
keep
always-
everything running.
Always have a backup.
I had to ask that question as well.
Usually redundant like, ooh.
I know, I know.
This is
I
good.
was like, wait.
It's nice to have as many things redundant as possible.
Yeah.
See in the checkbook, which I should.
Complete total different paradigms.
I know, me too.
Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
All right. 10B, GCHS bleacher disposal.
GCSD9 administration requests permission to dispose of old soccer bleachers that are in need of repair and not compliant with ADA. Anything to add, Mr. Smith?
No, it's just that if we move these anywhere else or try to take them apart, we're gonna be required to update them, retrofit them, and it's just gonna be too expensive, so we'd be better off getting rid of them.
Do they get recycled or?
We're gonna end up recycling them, yeah, and there is a, individual who works for us. They have a small hometown school. They want like maybe 2 sets of bleachers for like their sidelines or something. So if we can donate something like that, or even not so much donate, whenever we get rid of them, whatever happens, happens to them. So.
So moved.
Okay, any more discussion? Roll call.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
All right. 10C, Granite City High School Sports Lighting Project.
GCSD9 administration requests the approval of new scope for the Granite City High School Sports Lighting Project to replace the entire lighting system with a 25-year guarantee. This will include new LED lights on the football field and soccer fields with a show lighting package, which we'll explain. We are requesting the approval of $376,500. This will start the project in 2024 in the spring and will be purchased through Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Consortiums approved for use in the state of Illinois. I wanted to point out that this kind of lighting functions at a lower temperature, it has less maintenance, they have longer lifespans. They're also 50 to 80% more efficient than the traditional gas emitting lighting that we have. So those are plus the show lighting.
Yeah, this is going to give us the opportunity to, like if there's a soccer game, we can dim the football to 75%, just have a low light there. There's a ball tracking for where there's a light that stays on the football on the football field. It has a little different stuff that it will do far as if a team comes out and it'll have like a little light show or something. But one thing that we really wanted to go with these LED lights for, there's a 25-year guarantee. Right now we have a light pole that we're unable to get to once the concrete's poured for the new soccer field. We're not going to be able to get to it without having a heavy crane on top of it, possibly breaking it. We spend on our lights now about $4,000 to $6,000 a year just in routine maintenance and getting a crane out there to work on it. So this will stop that too. So there's a lot of our concrete around the football complex that's already broken from this equipment that has to work on the lights. So.
And you, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that we've used this Musco before.
Yeah, they're actually,
Yes.
they have our lighting on all of our fields now, and they're very responsive, very quick to respond to any problems we have. Yeah.
So moved. Second.
Any more discussion? Roll call.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye. Okay, 10D is the consideration of tax levy resolution and truth in taxation hearing. So we need a motion here to temporarily adjourn the Board of Education meeting. In a second.
Anybody move that?
I'll move.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. And then we need a vote on this one.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Vinnie. Aye.
Okay. And with that, we are opening our public hearing.
I can start with the presentation.
Go right ahead, yeah.
Have- So I'll,
Oh,
Should we do a
do we need to
roll
do a
call
roll call
first?
for this? Okay, yeah, let's, Go ahead and do that.
Linneman.
Here.
Vinnie. Here. Silva. Here. Bradley. Here. Stacy.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Well,
Okay.
yourself.
And with that, we will open the public hearing. And we will turn it over to Zach Surrey, our Director of Finance.
no, I've never needed one in my life. This is the 2023-2024 tax levy presentation. We'll do some quick historical info. We'll go over the 2023 tax levy in comparison to the previous one and our current debt schedule. Outline tax levy terms. We're going to go over some historical charts. We're going to do the 2023 tax levy collected in 2024, a 22-23 comparison, levy comparison, debt schedule, and estimated 23 tax rate paid in 2024 on a standard home. Okay. There you go. Terms. When I talk about some of these, it gets a little confusing, so I just like to throw these up here. The levy is what we're asking for. So when we say, hey, we're raising the levy 17% that we put in the newspaper, that's not what we're getting. That's simply what we're asking for based upon what we think equalized excess evaluation, or the total of all property value, is going to do. We're not saying we're raising somebody's tax rate 17%. We're just saying we expect the total growth, the total of all property in Granite City, to go up that much. We're not raising your tax rate, period. Extension, that's what GCSD9 gets after the limiting rates are applied. I will get to those a little bit later. Tax rate, that's how your property taxes are collected. Equalized assessed valuation, total of all property value, and limiting rates are rates that cannot exceed a certain amount. Equalized assessed valuation history, you can see this goes back to 2011. This is where EAV has been since 2011. You can see in the past couple of years it has gone up dramatically, which is good for us. The problem is as that EAV goes up, we go up in tier funding for EBF, which means we get less EBF money. Here's what I found. Because they're expecting us to get that amount. So if we don't collect in this pot, we also don't get it in EBF. We used to get about $2 million of EBF funding. We were a tier 1 school. We went to a tier 3 school. We got about $95,000 of due money in EBS and evidence-based funding last year. It's just how it works out. But we were also 94% funded. Everybody says?
Presentation over.
GCSD9 total levy / extension history. The top blue line is what we have asked for. The light blue line is what we have received. As you can see, we always ask for a little more than what we actually get. You can see last year that held true as well. On right there, you can see that's what we asked for, that's what we got. So we also had some more warehouses and property come up for new property that we wanted to make sure we captured all of to keep the tax rate as low as possible. So that's why we went a little high, hoping to capture more funds and keep the tax rate lower. This is our GCSD9 tax rate history. As you can tell from the high of 517, we are projecting this year to be in the 415, 416. Last year we were 423, 422 range. So we have come down considerably from 2015. And if you go back to the 2015-14 era, that is when they were prorating average daily attendance, state aid. Historical new property, this is just a graph from 2009 to 22 of the historical new property. You can see there was a spike in 20 of new property, which is probably attested to warehouses. These are our June 30th fund balances for each fund, just for purposes of seeing. This is the breakdown of those funds. This is the operating fund balance of the financial watch list, what it takes to become a 4 on the financial review for the state, financial recognition score. We have a 4.0 score out of 4. So the 2022 levy, you can see we asked for an additional $1.2 million in the ed fund. The limiting rate is $255. You cannot see it because Jody is still there in the corner. Special ed, we went up, we raised $15,000. This doesn't mean we're going to get it. It just means that we asked for that amount up to that limiting rate. We just wanted to make sure we got all of it. Tech lease levy went up 15. O&M went up 200,000. It has a limiting rate of 0.50. Debt services is holding steady. We will hold that steady this year. We anticipate that 30 cents to still be 30 cents. Transportation, 50,000, limiting rate of 0.2. IMRF, this is a no limit, so if we ballooned this, the tax rate would spike up. We did not raise that at all. Social Security, we did not raise at all. Working cash, the same as special ed and tech lease, went up 15,000. Health, life, safety went up 45,000 with a limiting rate of 0.5 to get into the 385 range as well. I'm sorry, it only went up 15. I have a typo. For a total of 1.8 million, roughly. We have reached the limiting rate in all our funds. We have hit the max. You can see here, 2022 actual rate, we were 423.02. 2023 estimated rate at 761 million of EAV will be at 415, which is about 8 cents lower on the tax rate than last year. And then if it stays at about 655 million, we'll be at about 427. We'll adjust that to make sure it stays at 423. We do not anticipate that happening. Mr. Parker. Oh, there we go. Our current debt service schedule. This is the last year. We will refinance that into the possible new bonds we may be doing, which will keep that rate right at about 30 cents. And we only have one outstanding bond remaining. We, right now, are probably one of the few school districts in Illinois that have really very little debt.
As a reminder, it's not bad to be debt, or
It's good to carry debt.
Thank you.
If we do not carry a certain amount of debt, if it comes to borrowing, if times ever go back to the 15 era, when we have to borrow money, we may not have access at a economical way to borrow that money to make sure we can meet our financial obligations, which would cost the taxpayers more down the road because we would have to borrow at higher interest rates or in a not as convenient way. How do I calculate my taxes? This is just a quick, on your tax bill, look at taxable value and multiply by the school tax rate. So you can see if your fair market value of your house is about $75,000, it's assessed at 1/3 minus exemptions. I don't have any in here, but it'd be $25,000. You multiply that through by 4.3202%, and your school taxes for that year would be $1,057.55. Don't go too. So how does the 2023 levy affect my taxes? You can see the 22 rate is over here. It's 1,057. If you do the same thing at 655 million at the 4.277, you'd go up just a little, about $1,069 from last year. But if it's the 761 million, somewhere in there, you'd be around $1,039, which is less than your 1,057.55 from the year before. So hypothetically, if all that happens, you're paying less taxes on our rate than you were the year before. Disclaimer, this is just a general example. There are many different scenarios that can affect your property taxes. This is the most basic. So, there we go. What if my house value goes up? The 2022 rate, if you paid on a $75,000 house, $1,057. On the 2023 rate at $655 million, let's say your home value goes up to $80,000, which represents a 6.6% increase. Your taxes would go to $1,140.50 because you're being taxed on the additional value of your house. We did not raise the tax rate, you have additional value to your house. 2023 rate at 761 million of EAV would be $1,109, which is about $50 higher than it was the year before with an additional home value. Sorry, that says 2022. This is the tax rates for all school districts in Madison County, 1 being the lowest, 12 being the highest. You can see that Granite City is the second lowest rate in Madison County. We're right under Roxana. Roxana is under $4, it's $3.94, we are $4.23. And we have moved down significantly. Maybe? There you go. Please remember there are many factors that can determine how your property taxes are figured. These examples represent the most basic calculations or just the school district rate. Any questions? If you want. I've got more. I could talk for days about this.
I say it every year, but school finance is so crazily complicated, and I just value and appreciate your ability to boil it down to layperson terms. You just see that, and it's valid, like it's accurate. So thank you for that. It makes a lot of sense.
He does an excellent job. Yes, I agree.
We're just not raising taxes. Yeah, I'd be the first to say, hey, this may cause your taxes to go up. We're not planning on that. There are things out of our control.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Do we have any other public comment? Okay, we need a motion to reconvene the regular board. So moved. Second.
1 second. Okay.
And roll call.
City, aye. Linneman.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Curran.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Bradley. Aye. Silva. Aye.
Okay. We have returned to the regular board. Do we have a motion to approve the 2023 school district tax levy resolution?
So moved.
Is that gonna be posted on the website or something for people to see?
Did we have in the past?
Okay. I noticed the paperback, but here, I'll tell you about it later.
No worries.
No, that's good.
Benny, aye. Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Do we have to adopt the certificate of tax levy and truth and taxation? No.
That goes along with your adopting the levy.
Gotcha, thank you.
I just wanna make sure, where do we have the item?
That's coming up under E.
Oh, we
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's right, I looked right over.
Oh, I did
Okay,
too.
just trying to make sure. Okay, so, here's another one of those, where we need another motion to temporarily adjourn the Board of Education meeting.
So moved.
Second. And roll call.
Silva.
Aye.
Bradley. Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble. Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye.
Okay. And, I guess we do another.
Well, you go ahead and read the script here and that's.
Okay, okay, I can just do that, okay, good. Let's see, so, the reason for the proposed issuance of bonds.
Go ahead and do A, B, and C.
Oh, okay, well then I'm calling the hearing, calling the hearing to order, and roll, there it is, okay.
Oh, that's
Should've read
okay.
that first.
Silva. Bradley. Stacy.
Here.
Curran.
Here.
Noble.
Here.
Linneman.
Here.
Benny. We are all still here.
All right. Now, the reason for the proposed issuance of the bonds is to increase the working cash fund. Is there anything to add? Okay. Do we have any comments on this? Okay. Believe we have any written
We have no written testimony.
Okay. Are there any written or oral comments from the public? Okay. All persons desiring to be heard have been given an opportunity to present oral and written testimony with respect to the proposed issuance of the bonds, and I ask for a motion and a second to adjourn the public hearing, followed by roll call vote.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Okay. With that,
Then we need to go ahead, we need a motion to allow the Board of Education to issue,
to sell,
sell not yet,
uh,
not to exceed 20 million.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, not to exceed 20 million working cash fund bonds for the purpose of increasing the working cash fund of the district. So,
Second.
discussion. Roll call.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Motion to sell.
Okay.
Okay.
With that,
Not to exceed what? 20,000.
20 million.
20 million says.
20 million, yeah.
Speak to 20,000, see what you do with it.
Okay.
Here's a light bill.
All right,
So,
so that's all.
I think we're good. All right. And then 10F, omitted service credit.
We
We did the last,
Sure.
last
The
month.
last one, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, omitted service credit. The administration is requesting the approval to grant prior IMRF omitted service credit for Paula Ward and Jody Nesbitt. Any comment, Mr. Parker?
What is the
Omitted credit, like, just because they did.
That is some time that they have accrued that they didn't get service credit for, but should have. They have, yeah. IMRF is kind of finicky on moving stuff in and out. We just want people to be made whole.
So moved.
Good discussion. And roll call.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Linneman.
Aye.
Benny. Aye. Silva.
Aye.
Bradley.
Aye.
Stacy.
Aye.
Okay, 10G, the Board Safety and Security Committee.
The Board of Education will create a Board Safety and Security Committee. Board of Education President Talent Curran will appoint the delegate and alternate. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Any discussion? Okay. Just a new committee we're creating. We didn't have one for safety and security, and hopefully now we will. We'll take a vote, roll call.
Noble?
Aye.
Linneman?
Aye.
Denny, aye. Silva?
Aye.
Bradley? Aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye. Okay. 10H, the Evening Academy assignments, spring of 2024.
I'll just read them out. Kim Lignell, teacher, Lisa Captain, teacher, Laura Sullivan, teacher, Natalie Roy, teacher, Peggy Wilson, teacher, Liz Sissio, teacher, Trina teacher, Jamie Schrum, teacher, Candace Parker, teacher, Kyle Kozer, teacher, Christine Douglas, teacher, Laura Pavlovic, teacher, Ann Words, teacher, Eric Feldman, teacher, Deb Garland, teacher, Annabelle Ambiel, teacher, Kelly Hutchins, coordinator, Adrian Johnson, coordinator counselor, and Eric Mitchell, coordinator. Due to the holidays on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the semester, then Monday and Wednesdays. This is why some teachers have a different stipend this period than others. The stipends are paid through the TAF grant funds. Approval is recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion and roll call.
Linneman?
Aye.
Denny, aye. Silva?
Aye.
Bradley? Stacy?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
Noble?
Aye.
Okay, 10I.
Going back to item 10G, the board safety and security meeting.
Yep.
I mean, board policy does state now that the committee is created by the board, that per board policy, you can go ahead and,
So just do that right now?
yeah, you can go ahead and name
Okay,
whoever you
yeah.
want for as
The idea
committee
was to have Eric Stacy as a delegate, Don Lindemann as a delegate, and then just place myself as an alternate, based on the
member. Go
security
ahead, that can be
background,
reflected in
your
the minutes,
background
please.
with buildings and construction and that, and mine with IT.
And it acts like any other committee, it makes recommendations to the full board of education.
Thank you. And I, 6th-hour assignment for the spring semester, ESSC Lake School.
Commission is requested to approve the following 6-hour assignment for the spring semester at ESSC Lake School. This assignment allows us to offer a work co-op class to high school students who are able to work. This additional compensation will be paid with TAF grant monies. I will say that it's nice that it gives them, it's an equitable approach to allowing them to have the co-op as well at Lake School. Per local 743 contract, section 28, 28.2, the cost will be as long. Approval is recommended for Candace Parker to take this 6-hour assignment.
So moved.
Second. Okay, any other discussion? Any roll call?
Denny, aye. Silva?
Aye.
Bradley? Aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Kern?
Aye.
Noble?
Aye.
Linneman?
Aye.
Okay, 11-1A, Freedom of Information Act request.
We received one request under the Freedom of Information Act during the period of November 8th, 23 to December 5th, 23. The requests were all handled by administration. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
11-1B, the curriculum committee group.
We're just gonna have a quick one. Mr. Luscious Caverna, do you want to handle that one?
Sure, it is just for information purposes. It was a curriculum committee that occurred, the meeting occurred on November 29th. And the committee, it is just simply for, is to report to the Board of Education on things that are needed. We are going to have another discussion on January 3rd of stakeholders will be involved in this meeting. And then we will bring it back to you. These items here, we will discuss again with the stakeholders, and then we'll bring it back to you for a consideration of a vote of the full board on one of the January meetings. So, this is just for your information right now. Okay?
Thank you. And let's go with 11-1C, the Community Advisory Council report by Ruben Cano.
Yes, I simply want to let the community know and the board know that January 24th, on a Wednesday, we will have our next CAC meeting, and those invitations will go out during the period prior to the meeting. That was really all of the information I
January 20th.
was giving, yeah.
And we will send that out as an opportunity for people
It'll be-
to sign up, so.
Yeah, it'll be released.
And we're gonna use the data from the survey in the first one to answer those questions and to address those issues that came up during that survey. And we'll have another survey from that as we go on, so people can have their input and let us know what their concerns are.
Okay.
And then 11-1D, it's your show again for
Yes.
the IASB delegate report.
There were, actually, it's an advocacy ambassador, is what the term is. But there were 2 resolutions that were approved by IASB. 417 delegates approved it. It was a measure to request the Illinois legislature consider legislation providing educational funding to all school districts to offset the cost of school resource officers, and it was approved. So we'll see what happens as it moves into the legislatures, yes. Also, there was an approved resolution for IASB to support changes to regulations to allow local training and testing for school bus drivers, and that would include also transportation reimbursement for those efforts. So those are the 2 that have passed IASB's committee, and we'll see what happens during the process when it goes to Springfield, yes. Okay, and that's it.
All right, well, thank you. And after that, we have 11-1E, the multi-grade level schools committee update by Erica Benny.
Short update, but we're making progress. So we will meet next Monday, right? The 19th? Is that right? Oh, geez.
The 19th.
That's a Tuesday. But man, the 19th. Okay.
Yep.
Next Tuesday, we're going to meet with Dr. Harris, and we're also in communication with Ms. Can to share the results of the staff survey about multi-grade level centers. We will discuss data, look at some trends that we're seeing in it, and then determine some next steps, which will include reaching out to community families to gather their input as well, and continuing to look at feasibility of different scenarios as we move forward. Anything else?
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have executive session today?
The agenda says we don't.
Yeah, we don't think we do.
Okay.
Okay then, with that, and we will approve any executive session minutes from November in the next board meeting in January. Yeah, that's just, and, so, setting of the agenda, our next meeting will be, January 23rd? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. January 23rd, 2023, right here at 6 p.m. And with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Okay, roll call.
Vinnie, aye. Silva. Aye. Bradley. Aye. Stacy.
Aye.
Curran.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Lindemann.
Okay, we are out at 7:03.